Hi, I'm Marlon. I'm from the Netherlands. I've been in Hangzhou for about 8 years, and I'm a teacher. Let me introduce you to the 9 creeks in the Misty forest.
Rolling hills, winding roads, splashing springs, and overlapping trees. This is a poem from Jiu Yue, a scholar in the late Qing dynasty, to depict a scenic site called the 9 Creeks. Just a few miles away from the tourist-packed downtown in Hangzhou, the 9 Creeks is one of the top 10 Westlake scenic spots. 9 Creeks sits to the west of the world-famous Westlake. The creek paths start from Longjing village. By taking a long winding trip, they join another 18 gullies at the foot of Bajue Hill and head together for Qiantang River. The 9 Creeks extends up to a passage from here to a village called Yangmeiling, and the 18 gullies is a mixed geo-feature 5,500 meters long from the creeks to Longjing. The 9 Creeks and 18 gullies have been a sightseeing spot since the Southern Song dynasty. But in fact, there are not exactly 9 creeks and 18 gullies. In ancient China, people used 9 or 18 to describe a large number. So here is just a cocktail of creeks and gullies. There have been folktales about the birth of the 9 creeks and 18 gullies. Legend has it that there was a family living in Yangmeiling village. The kid found a beet in the ditch and accidentally swallowed it, and his body immediately twisted and grew long, turning into a pitch-black dragon flying off into the air. The parents rushed in and cried out his name. Hearing his parents, the dragon looked back at each cry, and his tail swept to create the creeks and gullies. Another story goes that since there was a monster here, a warrior put up a good fight and killed it. The striking landscape came from the traces of the intense fight. Anyway, they are legends. In fact, the credit goes to Mother Nature. In 1947, geologist Li Xiguang went with the students and teachers from Zhejiang University to visit the 9 Creeks twice and find the remains of ancient glaciers. He pointed out that during the Quaternary period, 2 or 3 million years ago, the West Lake was under thick ice. The basins and valleys in today's lower Longjing bore a big amount of ice and snow. They just flew out through creeks and gullies and have forged such a stunning view. There are 2 sources of the 9 Creeks, one of which is Longjing Lion's Peak. The peak is the place of origin for a very good tea called Shifeng. This is even the best of the Longjing varieties. Legend has it that one day when Emperor Qianlang was in Hangzhou, he learned from the farmers to pluck tea at the foot of the Lion Peak. He just started the job when he was told that his mother was ill. The emperor rushed back to Beijing with some dried Lion Peak tea from Hangzhou. It smelled so good that the emperor's mother said she wanted to try it. Just over a sip, her eyes felt better. She finished the cup, then the swelling and her stomach bloating were gone. She gave high praise that Longjing tea is a panacea. The emperor immediately sent his order to name the 18 trees at Lion Peak imperial teas and specified that their fresh buds picked every year should be made a sort of tea only for his mother. Another source is Yangmeiling, a village rich in waxberry. Back to the Song dynasty, an old lady in Yangmeiling was widely famed for her mouth-watering waxberry. The lady was surnamed Jin, hence the name Lady Jin's Waxberry. Even the legendary poet and gastronomer Su Dongpo put the waxberry in his poems and gave an account of the lady and his own thoughts of life. Unfortunately, the fruit has disappeared for many years because it just wasn't as profitable as other plants, like tea. The 9 Creeks has weathered historical changes over the centuries. During the Republic of China, there were just a couple of private tea houses selling tea, lotus root powder, osmanthus dessert, etc. In peak season, rocks aside were used as makeshift tables and chairs. From 1953 to 1959, the city authorities built a pond and established a hydropower station for youth science education. They started to revamp the landscape. They paved the road, built hiking trails, and built a pavilion for a bird's eye view of the river. In 1975 and later, the Garden Authority dredged the pond, renovated or opened new restaurants, tea houses and lounges, built dams, bridges, step roads and pavilions, and did something more to expand the sightseeing space. In 2006, the local authority of Westlake helped the village restore a plantation over 3 hectares wide to plant 1,200 waxberry trees. Yang Meiling literally means the ridge of waxberry. Now the village is true to its name. The 9 Creeks, with a new look, is still considered a deep and serene paradise. You may not feel anything special at the entrance, but as we walk up along the crooked path, we will be captivated by the delightful green foliage and leave all life troubles behind. When a rainfall stops, the mist from the trees rises and fills the valley, hence the name 9 Creeks in the Misty forest. A stroll through the vibrant brooks, lush trees and vast tea gardens over the stone slabs seems a great fun way to get away from reality. We shall never miss the summertime here, a shelter from the scorching heat, while in autumn time it looks spectacular, a place ablaze with red and brown maples, a feast to the eyes. The 9 Creeks is filled with natural beauty and rustic charm. If you are looking for a getaway, just look no further. Creeks, gardens, mist and rolling hills. This is a paradise, an escape from the concrete jungles and the restlessness in your heart.
Hangzhou 欢迎你